Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. There is a kind of anxiety in the country. You can feel it wherever you are walking. It is coming against a backdrop of very many things. We are just from demonstrations. There was blood flow, people were killed, there was a lot of police harassment. And then all of a sudden, we hear that Raila and Ruto are supposed to be talking. Both of them have appointed a team of five. We hear that the team that is representing William Ruto really are not ready for talks, because you've seen how Kimani Ichung'wah, the majority leader in the National Assembly, is behaving. And as this is happening, we have a lot of secret meetings, because in such meetings, each and every group wants to be represented. Just the other day, we were told of a night meeting, a late night secret meeting between the Mount Kenya UDA members. And that meeting was chaired by none other than the chairperson of the Council of Governors, Madam Anne Waiguru. And today, we are also being informed that the Azimio is not left behind. The Mount Kenya caucus, the Azimio Mount Kenya caucus, I can call it, also decided to have their meeting, and this meeting was chaired by Martha Karua, the Iron Lady. She still has that name. And she went to her social media handle, the Twitter handle, and this is what she shared. She didn't say many things. She simply mentioned that consultative meeting with Kamwene leaders this morning. That is all she said. Now, her meeting was not a clandestine one. Haikuwa ile ya siri ya usiku. It was, in the open. It was daytime, in the morning. And it was also shared on social media. You remember the other one that was shared by Madam Anne Waiguru was never shared. People have been speculating, why do you think they had such a meeting? Because the timing is very paramount. Now, before we go to maybe why this meeting was held, Jeremiah Kioni is saying something just to corroborate facts that they met, because sometimes there are a lot of speculations. People wonder, did they really meet? Now, if you look at that meeting, we have Martha Karua, Jeremiah Kioni, and we have Peter Munya there. I see someone like Muraidhi. I can't see the iyo sura vizuri, that face, but I think it's the one. And Jeremiah Kioni is saying something. How many members of Mau Mau died for the liberation of our country? And then he adds there, engaged with Kamwene leaders at Martha Karua, Peter Munya, and Nderitu Mureithi. So I got it right. Nderitu Mureithi. Now I want us to try and look at why this meeting, especially after Jeremiah Kioni is saying that how many members of Mau Mau died for the liberation. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. Click the notification bell and like our videos. Now, Jeremiah Kioni is talking a very sensitive matter. Why? His statements is like a double-edged sword, and my interpretation is this. Kioni's sentiments are very, very sensitive, because when he talks about Mau Mau, you know very well that he's sending a message. One, the message could be sent to Rigathi Gachagua, who is the deputy president. Rigathi Gachagua has been going around saying that he's a son of Mau Mau, and saying that as such, he is one person who is supposed to be leading the Kikuyu community. He's also been saying this because he wants to convince and persuade the Kikuyu community that the first family, the Kenyatta family, after the liberation from the colonial masters, took land and property that was supposed to be shared among the Kikuyu community, and he has always said that he wants to liberate the Kikuyu community, until a time when Raila Odinga led the Azimio fraternity and questioned Rigathi Gachagua's sentiments, because one of his ancestral family member was found to be collaborating with the colonial masters who were frustrating and harassing the Kikuyu community and the Mau Mau. So when he talks about the Mau Mau in that meeting, it is like he's telling the Kikuyu community that they are still there and they want to represent them, especially even in the ongoing talks. And the message could also be going to the Azimio fraternity, that they must not be left out because, you know, the Mau Mau was largely from the Kikuyu community. So at a time when people sit down to talk about peace in the country and liberation, this is economic, social, and political liberation, it is like Jeremiah Kion is telling them, we cannot be left out, even in the Azimio. Remember, there was an allegation that Martha Karua was complaining that they were not represented in the meeting after Azimio appointed a 5-member committee that was led by Kalonzo Musyoka. And I remember Robert Alai complaining that Martha Karua should not create any havoc. I don't know. So Martha Karua, chairing that meeting and the sentiments of Kioni, they want to have their space. They must consult together, just like the other team, the UDA team consulted. You must ensure that you are represented, because now that they don't have one from the Mount Kenya that is going to represent them, they want to have their issues so that before the talks begin, they will present to Raila Odinga, they will present to Kalonzo Musyoka, they will go there as a team. And I'm sure politics is about interest. Maybe the Luo community, the Luo community, the coast and all that will ensure that they want to talk about matters bedeviling their people or matters that they want to be presented. And so when Martha Karua comes at such a moment, she is chairing that meeting so that they have a space and they want to be heard. Now, people are asking, if at all they are dissatisfied, can they walk out? Rigathi Gachagua, can he accept them? I think so, because if there is something that Rigathi Gachagua would want, is to ensure that all the Mount Kenya leaders rally around him. But this is not a walk in the park, because I have seen several groups. You know, you still have people like Kabogo. We have Peter Munya. We have people like Martha Karua. All those leaders are trying to be on standby. They want to be an alternative voice. So this particular meeting is coming and people are really anxious. They want to know what was really discussed. And we really are waiting, maybe through the social media, or they tell us what they talked about. They could also want, through Martha Karua, it's like they've decided Martha Karua is the one leading, to entrench themselves and position themselves and announce to the nation that they are in Azimio to stay. If there is one thing that the Azimio fraternity would want to hear, is that they are there to stay. Martha Karua is a person who is very courageous and very steadfast, even though people say that she does not command the numbers that Kalonzo Musyoka command. So anytime they talk about Azimio leadership, Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka will feature, because it seems like the Azimio is preparing to hand over power to them. So they might just decide to say, we are in Azimio to stay, and all these altercations and rumors are neither here nor there, and the Azimio will be very happy to hear this. You know, they can also just come up and say that if our interest will not be championed, then we can decide to walk out. Walking out would mean that they either join Rigathi Gachagua or they decide to go it alone. But I don't think that will happen. They might decide to suffer together. This meeting is coming at a time when Uhuru Kenyatta, a person they've also suffered with, don't know whether he has flown out of the country or is about to go to the outside the country to the UK for some time, because he's just tired of the frustration from this government. And Jeremiah Kioni, who is the Secretary General of Jubilee, is going to remain here to take care of the interest of the party and the affairs of the family, because people like Jeremiah Kioni have really suffered because of Uhuru Kenyatta. Remember, even during the demonstrations, when it was not very popular in Central, Martha Karua, Muraidhi, Jeremiah Kioni stood up to be counted. And so, when Uhuru is not there, they are planning how they are going to do it, because, you know, Uhuru is a former commander-in-chief. Sometimes there could be some treatment is accorded. So in the absence of Uhuru Kenyatta, how are they going to move on? So ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is very important to the Mount Kenya fraternity, and you will see more of these meetings. People are asking Martha Karua to share what they discussed, but I don't think it is a must. Sometimes people have to talk because these are regional politics. What do you think in that meeting?